Come here. Ms. Abi Mubiru and Mrs. Hope Kiconco, welcome to Angeredsgymnasiet.
Thank you.
First, I would like to welcome here in Sweden. The first question is, what will your expectation of Sweden when you come the first time?
Well, thank you very much for hosting us to this interview. We prepared for some time to come to Sweden, but my personal expectation was that I'm going to meet very welcoming teachers and students in a school that wasn't so squeezed in a city. I didn't expect it to be on a flat, but somehow, because I Googled a little bit and saw that you were somewhere outside the very big city. But I expected very welcoming people and teachers.
Yeah. That's great, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Kunyugu?
I also expected very welcoming people, and I didn't expect to find people of African origin like you. I was so happy to find people of African origin. I expected to find a developed country. Indeed, it is developed compared to Africa. So.
That's great, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I have a question from you, Ms. Kiconco.
Yes.
What's your first impression of Sweden?
Well, before I came to Sweden, I expected to find, me I'm a geographer, so whatever I talk in terms of geography, the climate, the natural environment.
Yes.
So I thought I would find ice covering everywhere. I expected too much coldness. But when I reached here, yeah, it wasn't all that too cold. I expected to freeze. Yes, but when I reached here, things were very different. Then maybe another thing I thought that Sweden is a mountainous country. I was expecting high mountains, over 4,500 meters above sea level. But when I came, it was different. It's almost flat with some few hills.
Yeah.
So I expected it to see mountains and mountains.
Yeah.
So when I reached here, everything is almost flat with some few scattered hills. Yeah.
And Ms. Abi, what's yours?
My first impression of Sweden, Gothenburg for that matter, was a small European city. With because I expected very high-rising skyscrapers, which I didn't see. But it was very organized, and I didn't know exactly that it had lots of waters around it. But everywhere I traveled, I could see harbors, I could see ports, and all that. Then the other one is about the public transport.
Yes.
It is very, very, very refreshing in Gothenburg because compared to our cities, there are too many cars on the streets in the city center. But now, given the trams and the buses, it is very airy. The streets are very wide. The walkways are very well organized. Everybody knows where to pass and when. That was a very good impression. The organization of the city is really good.
I hear that you are the head office of the school in Uganda.
Yes.
What's called that school?
Yes, I am the principal. Here we call them principal. In my place we call them head teacher.
Head teacher.
I'm the principal of Entebbe Comprehensive Secondary School, found right in Entebbe, near the airport.
All right.
Yes.
And you are the teacher in the school.
Here in Sweden, you call teachers professors.
Absolutely.
So I'm a professor, but when I go to Uganda,
You are
I'm
the
a
teacher.
teacher.
Right.
I'm a geography teacher. I'm a senior woman. I don't know, a senior woman, yeah, you help girls most especially in case they have problems here and there. They are supposed to talk to the senior woman. So I'm a senior woman in that school, and ahead of entertainment department. Yes.
Absolutely. And Mr. Abi, you meet one of the head office here in Angeredsgymnasiet, Patrick Lord. What's the difference in your roles when you are the head office in that school and in Uganda, and when you meet the head office here in Angered? What's the difference to that job?
There isn't much difference between a head of school in Uganda, between me and Patrick, because all we do is to coordinate programs. We coordinate the teachers. We make sure that the welfare of the students and the teachers is taken care of, and therefore I find our roles very similar. But the difference is in the autonomy. A principal of Angred is more autonomous, has got more powers over budgeting, over financing, over decision making, over recruitment of staff than a principal in Uganda. Because Patrick can get to know and say, I think we need a teacher in this area, we need a teacher for this program, and goes ahead and hires that person. Whereas I don't have those powers. I might advise, but I don't have those powers. I think that is where there is a bit of difference. Yeah.
That's great to hear. It's the first time you can...
Yes, what's your expectation? What? Which one?
It's the first time, then Andra.
Yeah, it's the question it is that if it's the first time that you travel in Sweden or in Europe, in all Europe countries.
Yes, for me,
Yeah.
it's my first time. I've been traveling around East African countries, but beyond East African countries, no, it is my first time and a very wonderful experience. Yes.
And Masabi.
Yeah.
It's the first time.
No.
No.
It's not my first time to come to Europe.
No.
I was in Sweden, 2006.
All right.
No, not Sweden, Spain,
All right.
Madrid. I was in Italy, Rome, 2010, 2009. And then Sweden, this is my third European country, Schengen. Yeah.
What's contrast between Spain or Sweden? What you think, is it better? Sweden's better or Spain was better?
What's the difference in these countries?
In those European countries?
Those European countries.
Spain.
Between Uganda and Sweden, I don't know.
No, he means the European countries you have been. What's the difference with them?
Actually, when I went to Madrid, Madrid is a very big city.
Absolutely.
And when I went there, I was on a different program. Right now, I came strictly, I'm in town fine, but I'm working with the schools. Okay. The other time, I had gone for a big conference in a different way. So the difference is not so much because European cities, the way they are organized, are more or less the same. Because the public transport, the organization, the cleanliness in the city, the traffic and all that. However, there are more similarities than differences, of course. But I wouldn't really pick up a very big difference anyway.
Yes, it's one question for you too.
Yes.
It's how you manage when you want to come to Sweden. How you thought that is it all Swedish people, or you thought that maybe you will meet another people of the world also in Sweden?
As I told you, I didn't expect to see any other person of a different color. I expected only the whites.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I expected. But when I reached here in town, there are very many different people in town. I've seen even Japanese. Yes, you can easily identify the Chinese and the Japanese. So I didn't expect different people. I knew I would meet only the Swedish
The Swedish people.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when I reached, it was the opposite.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, how you feel when you see it's different people? If because you thought before maybe it's
Yeah,
just
I feel
Swedish
very
people.
good because I know that Swedish people welcome people of different tribes, or I don't know how I can term it, but I feel comfortable. I know I'm welcome here because I can see people who are not Swedish and they are very happy in town. I also feel comfortable that I know that I'm very welcome. Yeah.
Mr. Abi,
Yeah.
what do you think about the exchange with Angeredsgymnasiet in Sweden?
It is a great opportunity that we are having to have an exchange between our schools. After coming here and after seeing the composition of the students in this great institution, I have learned that it is very accommodative, it is very democratic, it has, you can imagine, different skin colors is one, different background is another, but there is yet another very important one, people with special needs.
Yes.
The way they are being treated within here, I feel it is something that is giving me as a person a very big lesson on how to relate with the others, and which will help even our students and the other teachers if they come here. I already feel that this cooperation, this exchange should go on. Secondly, given the programs you study here and the education system in our place, I think it is going to be a very good opportunity for both our schools, for the students to be able to enrich their study, their research, and their achievement in their programs. Yeah.
That's great to hear you. And let me ask you, you as teacher in Uganda, and you have met the students here in Sweden. What's the difference between the students?
The students here in Sweden, the students have freedom. For example, in Uganda, we don't allow phones in class. No. Yes, so for you have freedom, you can go in class with your laptops and you have phones, but for us in Uganda, we don't allow them. Secondly, for you, your classes are very small compared to ours. For example, a teacher here in Sweden, they handle a class of, let's say, 25. But for us back in Uganda, the smallest class has 80 students. That one we call it a small class. Otherwise, we handle more than 100. Class, a stream. A stream, not the whole class, but a stream. A stream of more than 80 students. But here, the biggest class, I think it has like 30 students. Yeah.
Thank you.
Then another difference I've noticed, for you here, you don't put on school uniform.
No.
But there in Uganda, we have school uniforms.
I think
like
it's all Africa.
All Africa. Then in our school, even different classes have different uniform. You can easily identify that these students are from senior 3 and 4. These ones are A-level students. These ones are from senior 1 and 2. You can easily identify them according to the color of the uniform they are wearing. But here you don't know whether this one is in the 3rd year or 1st year. So the differences are very many.
So it's hard to know.
Yes.
Yes, but yeah, it's another question that how you can take care of so many students in the one class, maybe 80, 85, because my background is from Afghanistan. It was same in Afghanistan. It's 80, 85% in the class, but the teacher cannot take care of all, and the students couldn't understand completely as we do. Yeah, the lessons.
Yeah, it's still a problem because one teacher, the ratio of 1 to 8 is a big. You can't easily get into contact with your students. Helping them becomes a bit complicated, though we give tests. That's when you know that this one is weak. Otherwise, that is a very big class. It's a very big class to be handled by one teacher. But then in Uganda, we use one language in schools. Whether you are from, because you see we speak different languages, it becomes very difficult to teach in all those languages. It is English strictly. So
Yes.
they begin teaching English from kindergarten. So by the time the student reaches to O level, he is very conversant with the English language. So
Absolutely.
based on
The last question. Angeredsgymnasiet will send the students in April next, February next year. What's your expectation of these students who is coming in Uganda next year?
The students who will be coming to Uganda will be prepared by the teachers here.